Absolute value equations. You talked about absolute value in Algebra 1. You probably have seen it before Algebra 1, but the question is, what is absolute value? So here's the definition. You can go ahead and write that down. At any point during this video, if you need to pause it, please do that. I'm just going to keep going. So here's the first example. Evaluate. If y equals -3. So we're going to go ahead and substitute in -3 in for y. And we're going to follow order of operations. So we're going to work inside the absolute value. By the way, bonus points for anybody who catches me making a mistake during any of these videos. So we have 1.4 plus the absolute value of -22. Well, going from the definition, the absolute value is the distance away from 0. It's the number of units away from 0. So that absolute value of -22 actually becomes just 22. And so our answer is 23.4. Going to the next example. Now we have an absolute value equation, and this is probably new to you this year. And this is how we're going to work it. So the absolute value of x is equal to 2. Well, that means that it's 2 units away from 0. So if you think of a number line, we have two different options there. We have 2, but we also have -2. And what I call this right here is branching off. So whenever we have an absolute value equation, this is what we're going to do. We're going to branch off from the equal sign, and we're going to set one side of it equal to the positive form of what's on the right-hand side, and the other one equal to the negative form of what's on the left-hand side. And you'll see this in the next example as well. So in our next example here, notice we have the absolute value by itself. That's important. And because we have that, we can go ahead and branch off. And I'm going to take what's in the absolute value and set it equal to the positive form of what's on the right-hand side, and set it equal to the negative form of what's on the right-hand side. And then the next step is to solve. In example 2, we didn't need to do that because it was already done for us. So let's go ahead and do that. So it looks like x is -2 over here. And x is -6 over here. And we can go ahead and put this in a solution set. As you can see, I'm at school making this video, and if you heard that announcement, I apologize. So the solution is -2 and -6. Again, go ahead and pause if you need to. I'm going to keep going. So here's the procedure. Step 1, we're going to get the absolute value by itself. Step 2, we're going to branch off. We're going to set the whatever's in that absolute value equal to the positive form of what's on the right, and also to the negative form. And the last step is to solve. Here's example 4. So as you can see, the absolute value is already by itself. We're going to get into more challenging problems in class. This is just an introduction. So I'm going to go ahead and branch off. I'm going to take the left-hand side, since it's already by itself, set it equal to the positive form of what's on the right, but also set it equal to the negative form of what's on the right. And then I'm going to solve from here. So I'm going to subtract 6. And Subtract 3x from both sides. Looks like x is 4 over here. And here I'm going to go ahead and distribute this negative. And solve. So our solution set here is -1 and 4. We're going to put them in what we call braces. And that's the solution to this problem. Now I'm going to show you one more example. But before I do, it's going to look a little bit different than the few examples that you've seen so far. And I'm not going to walk you through that one. What I'd like you to do is write it down and try it. It's a little bit different from what you've seen, like I said, but see what you can do with it. And we'll talk about it tomorrow in class. There's a hint for you.